Hi, and welcome to the Health Begins with Mom show. I am Dorit Palvanov, your host. On this podcast, I will share insights and interviews on health, parenting, and explore the question of what does it take to thrive as women, wives, and mothers. Now, let's get going with today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Health Begins with Mom podcast. This is Dorit Palvanov, your host. Mama, I have a question for you. And keep your headphones in for this one. Do you feel like you are bad at sex? Like you're so uncomfortable talking about sex, let alone doing it? Did you have to say no to sex last night again? Do you prioritize sleep over connecting with your partner? Do you feel tired, sluggish, overwhelmed, sleep deprived, uninterested, unmotivated, sucked dry, or just blah? Do you crave to feel stronger, more energized, more alive, motivated, sexier? And do you want to not just survive, but actually flirt with life and thrive as a woman, wife, and a mother? Then I have amazing news for you. I have launched a groundbreaking new 5-day challenge for free for you. We are way along the challenge already. So from last week, if you've joined, amazing. And I really hope that you are, rocking this. And if not, this is still not too late. This challenge is for you if you feel sucked dry, if you feel like you're exhausted, tired, tapped out, unmotivated, uninterested, apathetic, clueless, or if you feel confused. This is for you. It is also for you if you feel like you're unwell physically and you know it, and you have been resisting taking care of yourself. But now your inner wise mother kind of tells you, girl, you need to do something about this before it becomes worse. If you feel like you've gained weight like crazy lately, if you feel bloated, if you feel swollen or inflamed or fat or unsexy, or in the words of my client, like a stuffed up sausage, and you know that how unsexy that is. This challenge is also for you if you repeatedly say no to sex night after night, and you know that your partner is really pissed off about that. And you're also pissed off, by the way. So if this is you, then head on over to www.healthbeginswithmom.com/challenge and sign up. It is still not too late to join the challenge. You can go to my Facebook page or to my Instagram account, and you will have the links to both of them. When you register, you will get them in the email. So you can go and kind of catch up on all the days that we have been working on for so far, and start stepping into your truest, fullest potential as a woman, wife, and a mother, and really show up for yourself. That's all I'm asking from you. I know 100% that you can shift whatever state you're in right now, because I've done it myself, and I've done it with dozens and dozens of clients. So I know it is possible. The question is, are you willing to show up for yourself? Are you willing to show a little bit more courage? Are you willing to step into your power more and own it? Own it like nothing else. Okay? So I hope to see you over at the challenge. Again, the link is www.healthbeginswithmom.com/challenge. Go over there. If you need to pause this episode right now, do so. Head on over to that URL, and when you scroll down below, you will have a space where you can put your name and email, and that's it. You're in the challenge. You will get all the training material, all the content, and you can start, and you will be on your way to feeling stronger, more energized, and sexier as a woman. All right, I'll see you on the other side. All right, so today I want to talk a little bit about owning your power in the bedroom. And I know that this is kind of maybe I'm crossing my boundaries a little bit here, because after all, I'm not a sex therapist. I'm not a sex coach or anything like that. I am a female desire coach, and the majority of my clients are women who really struggle with desiring sex or being interested in sex. And so, but there is something like a phenomenon that I have noticed in working with clients, and I really wanted to address it today. And that is setting up your relationship for survival, as opposed to like being kind of like meh. I think I can make that assumption about you, that you know that your marriage, your relationship has the potential of being exceptional and not just so, right? Like if you can think about your relationship maybe in the past, or maybe you've experienced something like this before, then you know that if it's not there now, the relationship in terms of like your dynamics with your partner, then it's not, in most cases, it's not because you're not good for each other. It's just because maybe you're not communicating properly, or maybe there is like a dynamic situation there, which I'm going to cover in a few moments. And like I said, I think in previous podcasts, that the majority of my clients are married to really, really nice men. So it's not to ditch the man, it's not to ditch the masculine, it's nothing like that. It's just that when we are in a relationship, when we are in a marriage, it's really important for us women to own our power. And to me, what power is, so it's really important first to define what power means, right? Because for many people, when I do this exercise with my clients, many times they would say, well, power to me is control, having what somebody else wants, to have that met, rules, construction, constructs, just following the rules, kind of like that, and it could be a part of it, but to me, that's not where I'm going with in terms of power, or how I define power. So to me, and you have to think about this for yourself, but to me, what stepping into my power, or owning my power as a woman, or as a partner, as a 50-50 partner in this marriage, in this relationship, to me, what it means is that I fully know myself. I know my needs. I know what I need. I know how to communicate my needs. And I feel like this relationship, this marriage, really fills me up and nourishes me. And I also know that it does the same for my partner. So we are both growing in this dynamic, and not feeling like only one. It's not a one-sided thing, right? It's not only about making one person's needs met in the marriage. So for example, many of my clients would be in this kind of a dynamic where they've completely given their power away to their husbands, because they've collected the evidence that their husbands are maybe more collected, more calm, more organized, more responsible, more reliable, trustworthy. They can make better decisions, maybe financially. And so all of those things in your head, you kind of like collect evidence that, oh, my partner, he's much better at those things. Therefore, I no longer have to exert the effort and push myself to make similar decisions, which we're going to talk about this in a bit. I totally believe that it's not about living together but alone. right? In a sense that you are together, but then, both you and your partner know to do everything and do everything, and kind of like there's no healthy reliance on each other. So here's where I'm going with this. In a marriage, and I learned this from a beautiful book, it's called His Needs, Her Needs, by Dr. Oh, I reach for my phone for this. Just give me a sec. So the author's name is Willard Harley Jr. And the book again is called His Needs, Her Needs. And so he talks about this concept of codependence versus interdependence. So when you are in a codependent relationship, that means that there will be a clear pattern of giving your power away, relying on your partner so heavily that you completely remove your decision making from the process. Now, here's where this becomes really unconstructive and unhealthy. The partner that kind of like owns your power now, right? And of course, this is done energetically. So maybe you don't even talk about it, but it's like you kind of like relinquish your power to them, and you expect, and that's kind of like is manifested in a way of expectations, like expecting them to do certain things, to do or not do certain things, and they feel it energetically. And so what you might feel in this kind of relationship and this kind of dynamic is a lot of disappointment, a lot of kind of like glitches, a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of not fights, but just disagreements, and not feeling aligned together. And that is because energetically you don't own your part of the load of the marriage, of the relationship, and the other side can feel that too. And sometimes what this does is they can make requests of you that deep inside that you cannot do, and you cannot kind of like live up to, and yet you still push yourself because you have to, because you're obligated, because you feel like this is your job as a wife. Okay, so let me give you an example from one of my clients. So my client is married to a beautiful, terrific, amazing partner. They're really good together. They both know that they're really strong together. So they're far from a divorce or anything like it. But there is this pattern of him wanting her to drink more with him, or to party more with him, or to gossip more with him, or to just chill and relax more with him, doing things that are unhealthy for both, right? So he wants to do drugs, he wants to just party, he wants to let's say just do unhealthy things. And the wife doesn't, like my client does not want to engage in those things. She believes that this is like, let's grow up. This is no longer suitable for both of us. I definitely don't want to do that. But because she's not being clear, because she's not being kind of like putting her feet in the ground and owning her power, she's being ambivalent with him. She's not being concise. And she kind of plays his game, but doesn't. And then she feels frustrated, and then he feels frustrated. So it's kind of like this back and forth of very, not smart use of both of their human potential. And so in that case, this is where really, like, I believe that the health of the home and the marriage and of everything that is inside of the home, that's where I really believe that it begins with the woman. So I call this health begins with mom. But here, in this case, it's not going to be really the mom. It's going to be the wife. So health begins with wife. Is in most cases, the woman would be kind of like the more responsible one. And many times it's us that bring the message of health into our homes, right? But in order for this to actually work, you need to use what I call the 4 C's. So compassionate, crystal clear communication. You need to be clear with the things that you want. So in the case of my client, in this example that I gave you, she needs to tell him, honey, I love you so much. I love us. I love our marriage. I love our relationship. And I need us to be doing things that are healthier. I need us to learn to foster healthier habits, like starting the day with water, drinking more tea, maybe going out for dates, or maybe having more fun together, and doing less things that are just emotionally are draining for me. I no longer have interest in gossip, alcohol, partying, drugs, and etc., etc., right? You need to be clear. But being clear, many times it's like, in our head, clarity many times comes across as being rough, being rude, and not being kind. That's not what I say. In fact, the first C is compassionate, right? So we have to be very compassionate and communicating in a way that will actually land nicely with the other person, right? And we all hopefully know our partners well enough to find the right words. But the point is to really communicate clearly so that they know what you want, and you kind of eliminate this back and forth. And then the other example is, so we talked about how it feels to be codependent, right? So let me give you another example. I have a client who really has a strong need for feeling safe. And so in that, because that is one of her most basic needs, human needs, she gives her power away to her husband when it comes to making decisions about their sex life. So she is struggling with, desire for sex, or, wanting it or not wanting it. And because she kind of completely had given her power away to him, because she believes that he is more responsible, more trustworthy, and stronger, in their relationship, in terms of being able to make healthier decisions, or the right kind of decisions in their marriage, that then she kind of follows his direction when it comes to, what's the right thing to do to solve that problem. So he says he goes to the fixing the mechanics of fixing her libido. So he tells her, he bought all the different sex toys, and he uses all the lubes, and he really has all those things. And I think that's one of the things that you will learn in that book, His Needs and Her Needs. It's really understanding on the basic level the differences between males and females, right? So men, and if you're married to a man, you probably know this, that men have this tendency to fix things, right? So they many times will have the approach of like mechanically fixing problems, whereas for us women, it's like a more holistic approach. We need to look at like all the different areas of our lives, and we have this more feminine approach to not fixing, but more, I love the word healing. Just and the feminine approach is it many times requires a little bit more time, just to kind of allow yourself to really drop into whatever it is that you need to figure out or to fix, quote unquote. And then when you are making the decision, to really feel like you trust yourself when you do make that decision. And so what happened in this kind of situation, she knows that this is a healthy relationship, but because she constantly gives her power away, it seems like this relationship is really unhealthy, because he is unwilling to do things that she needs to do. He is unwilling to to take some of her lead, or to read the books that she wants to read, or listen to the podcasts that she wants him to listen to, right? And so there is this kind of like very unhealthy dynamic where she kind of knows that the way that he's leadership in this realm of their life is not right. And then she kind of starts questioning, do I even want to be in this relationship? Do I want to be in this marriage? Do I not want to be? And it kind of like sets you off this very weird and it's just not a place, it's not a good place to be in. And so what I advised her to do is step more into her power and define how an interdependent marriage and an interdependent relationship will look like. So let's face it, relationships, and especially a marriage, a married relationship, you are dependent on each other, whether you want it or not, right? So like I said, the point is not being together but alone. No, that's not what we want. We want to feed and nurture each other. We both want to grow. And it can happen, but not in a codependent way where either, one of us are giving our power away to each other. That doesn't feel good to you or to him, right? Because then he feels like he is responsible for you and you should be able to do this as an adult. It's kind of like a very childish, immature place to be. You don't want to be there. That's not how an exceptional marriage looks and feels like. Whereas an interdependent relationship, that is the healthier relationship. And that is the way it looks like. For example, I can give you my example. In my household, my husband has proven himself to be really good with money. With managing our finances, with investing it in the right place, with putting it in the right accounts. He has proven himself. He's just much better. He studied accounting. I know that I can rely on him. Does it mean that I completely relinquish my control over our money? No, of course not. It's just in this phase of my life, I am focused more on building and growing my business, whereas I trust him fully. And you need that kind of trust, right, in a marriage, that our money is in good hands. So that is an example of an interdependent relationship. Another example is my husband had never read a book about parenting. I am the one who is doing this kind of work. I've read, I think, I'm not going to say all, but most of parenting books. I'm the one educating myself. I'm the one who going to seminars. I'm the one who, spends more time with our kids. And I'm the one who, let's say in general, is responsible for raising our daughters, although he is 100% co-parents with me. But that is an example, right? We are dependent, but interdependently. So we are kind of like it's like if I think about it, it's like the picture, the image that I am imagining is it's a network of maybe strings or straws, whatever it is, but it's a network. It comes in and out, and it's like interdependent and interconnected inside of each other, right? So we are very much dependent. We're very much connected. We are meshed in, our life. We are sharing life. And that's one of the things that's one of the reasons why I believe that the family unit is such a sacred unit, because it's really difficult. And if you're a single parent, you know what I mean. It's really difficult to do this on your own. It makes life so much easier when you have a partner that you can share the house logistics with, or the difficult decisions with, or even, just to sit and talk and share the ruminations of your mind. It just makes life much more sustainable and easier and much more fun, and in my opinion. So that is the difference. So whenever it comes to sex, in particular, because that is a conversation that I keep having again and again with my clients, with women that I work with, is that the lack of desire for sex, the lack of interest, the lack of motivation, the lack of, the low libido, um, when we are in a marriage and we want things to work, the first place to start is with defining, what does an interdependent relationship look like for us? So the way it looks for you, it's different than it's going to be for me, and it's different than it's going to be to, for my clients. We need to define, how does interdependence look like in our home, in our household, in a way that nourishes both of us. In a way that I don't feel like I am like a second class citizen, that my decisions, my wants and needs are not being considered equally just because I'm a woman, or just because I'm a stay-at-home mom, or just because I don't bring the money into the household, or just because in the past I haven't proved myself to make, the right choices, even though this is a complete BS. And I'm sure if you really take the time, and I do this with my clients, if you really take the time and you put, if you take a piece of paper and just write out all the areas in your life where you did trust yourself, and it was self-giving, and it was positive, good, healthy choices, you will see that there were more positive things than negative, right? So when it comes to collecting evidence, we need to start collecting positive evidence more than, the negative one, because collecting negative evidence is easy to do, because that's just it comes natural, right? It comes naturally. So that is the difference between living in a codependent relationship versus an interdependent relationship that allows you, it creates the space, it creates the opening for you to step more into your feminine power and to your feminine energy, which is so absolutely necessary when you are learning to live in the flow. And the flow is something that 100% of women, 100% of my clients crave and long for. We all crave more simplicity, more ease, more, less feeling like you are fighting with life, and more just being and doing, and also trusting that wherever you are in your life, it's exactly where you need to be. And that is exactly the conversation that I have designed around the 5-day challenge that I run right now over in my Facebook page and my Instagram account. So if you want to participate in it as we're doing it live, please head on over to www.healthbeginswithmom.com/challenge and sign up so that you can also start having kind of like a glimpse into how it looks and feels like to live in the flow. And that is exactly what I teach inside of my Feminine Current course, which I will be offering to you after the challenge is over. And that's all about teaching you how to live in the flow, how to embrace the flow, how to invite the flow into your life, and how to enroll your family members, and especially your spouse, into your health mission, into your energy, so that so that you build this beautiful life together that nourishes not only him but also you, so that your life as a woman, as a wife, and as a mother will really be the most magnificent and amazing as you know that it can be. And then the kind of like the next part is breaking all the generational patterns that maybe you've seen and experienced in your own home, if that wasn't modeled, and creating a legacy of sustainability, ease, flow, energy, femininity, power, for your daughters and even for your boys, because this is a conversation that both males and females need to be making, right? And that's it. That's all I have for you today. I hope this makes sense. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can always find me over at my Instagram account. I go by at Health Begins with Mom. You can also find me over at Facebook. So I go by Dorit Palvanov. So my last name is spelled as Palvanov. And that's it. And again, if you want to join the challenge, it is still not too late. You can do so by heading over to www.healthbeginswithmom.com/challenge. And when you scroll down, you will see there's a space for your name and email. Put those in and then click on the button and you're in. Okay? Awesome. I love you so, so much. And I'm sending you off with so much love and many, many blessings. And I will catch you next time. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Health Begins with Mom show. I love hearing from you, so please post your comments and questions over at healthbeginswithmom.com/podcast. If you love the show, please share it on social media and in your real life with other moms who might enjoy this content. And if you have a burning question or topic you'd like me to hit on the show, just drop me a line at dorit@healthbeginswithmom.com. And if you love this show and really want to support it, please go to iTunes, write a review, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Much love and many blessings.